It aims at supporting people in their quest for a healthy and prosperous life, a life of significance. Revana Quintana and Osvaldo Mora, leaders of the bilingual ministry Unity Community of Light, are here every Sunday morning to bless you with either an inspiring dialogue and or meditation based on the powerful Unity teachings. Teachings that we are certain will lead you to a space of deep personal transformation. Please be welcome to Encuentro Espiritual English. We are a gentle voice that expresses itself powerfully through hearts consecrated to God and truth, and that by its commitment to educate spiritually, pray with devotion, and gather in family groups, amplify the powerful light of the Christ presence to the collective, all leading to true abundance. We are Unity Community of Light, a bilingual unity ministry that offers an online programming in addition to workshops, retreats, and services in person internationally. Our commitment to the transformation of the collective consciousness is our priority. We are here by divine appointment to fulfill this sacred mission, one that we know can only be accomplished through our own transformation. Revana Quintana and Osvaldo Mora and other leaders are fully present to offer you the powerful unity teachings that will change your life forever. We welcome you from the bottom of our hearts.
Good morning, everyone. Osvaldo Mora here from Unity Community of Light. Today, we are two men in one mission. The mission is to share with you our experiences about our quest. Remember that we are working this beautiful book. And you must be wondering, who is that guy that is at the right side of Osvaldo? And this guy, my friend, this is a friend that I stole from my community of Unity of Chapel Hill. He just went there, and one day he told me, "Hey, I need." No, I didn't. He didn't say I need. He says, "I want to talk to you about something that I think you can help." So that's how we start having conversations. And here is my friend, and I'm gonna let him to say his own name.
Yes, I'm Nathan Jorgensen.
And my dear friend, what do you do for a living?
I'm a researcher. I do research on developmental psychology, studying children and adolescents.
You see, this guy is something that we need to pay attention to, because of course he has a face that it's like his face says, "Hey, listen to me, I have something important to say."
I don't know about that, but I appreciate it.
No, you know, the thing is, that's why you cannot see your face. You can see your hands, you can see your fingers, you can see your elbows, but maybe if you have a little bit of nose, you can see your nose, but you cannot see your face. So the face that we have is for other people to see. So that's what I see, and that's the reason. That's why I invited you to be part of this journey. Our dearest Tammy, she walked with us until here, and to tell you the truth, she's been working her to accomplish many stuff in spiritual ways. And next month she's going to be graduating in One Spirit. Congratulations, Tammy. And also we know that she has some projects in other churches. So, like she said, being honest, I don't think that I can work with you guys anymore. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and we bless her, and we love her, and we wish her the best of our consciousness, Christ consciousness. Tell me a little bit about your spiritual journey, my friend.
My spiritual journey, well, I'm still on it for sure. And thinking about a journey, thinking about age, I was thinking recently about how old we are in number of years. And I was really thinking about trying to see things through a new lens spiritually and realizing I feel like I'm just a child, right? Like 5 to 7 to 8 years old, where really re-engaging with certain things that I learned when I was younger, being pretty devout in a more conservative Christian religion, coming away from that, realizing ways that didn't work for me, ways that it was hurting me and my spirit. And then a period of time where I kind of see it as nothingness. And the more people I see on this journey, the more I see that might actually be a helpful thing, having a time where you're not thinking about as much, because thinking about it causes more pain. And then in time realizing that there were certain things that I missed, not from necessarily one religion, not even from a specific group of people, but that I always had spiritual questions, that, engaging in day-to-day things, doing research, being in the more scientific area of things at a university, thinking again about spirituality and saying, wow, I think in some areas maybe we have more knowledge, but where's the spirit? Where's the spirit that connects people? So at one point I realized I really want to reconnect with some sort of spiritual community, with very little interest of going to another church. And Unity Center of Peace in Chapel Hill is right in the woods. I only knew about it because there's trails right by there and people talked about it. And seeing a sign up sometime after things opened up after the pandemic that like we're starting services again, and I thought, yeah, maybe that's somewhere I could go. It seems like a group that's not going to be pushy. It seems open enough. It's, positive, progressive spirituality. I thought those are two words that I don't normally hear at an organized church. So I went a couple times, went on and off. I've been a regular there for over a year. And yeah, that's my journey. Or at least that's where I am at right now.
You see, it's curious because today's theme in the quest, in the book of the quest, is inner change. And what you saying, what you're talking about, is something that is being changing, transforming. Because you said that you feel that you have 5 years, that you are 5 years, 6 years old, and that's something that happened to me. Also, in terms of, I used to, recently I was thinking, if I wouldn't know how old I am, that I am 54, how is that I feel? How old is it I feel? And I said, yes, I feel like I am 17, 19 years old, something like that. Because as I'm getting older, I'm getting bigger in numbers, I'm experiencing that I'm getting younger in energy. So I have created around the Encuentro Espiritual with Ana Quintana in the Spanish version. I took care of Encuentro Espiritual in English. Now we're working with the communities in Ecuador, and we are connected next month for the retreat in Unity in Spanish. It's like I'm doing a lot of stuff. When the people of my age, they know that 10 more years and they're ready to retire. So I'm not thinking that I'm ready to retire in the next at least 40 years. You see, so And today's theme, I think, is the perfect match for what we are talking about, because it has to be with the inner change. Making inner changes is your greatest assignment during this lifetime. Why put it off any longer? That's something that I always say. Spirit is something that eventually you will have to confront in your life. This existential crisis that some people call when they start wondering, what is life about? What is my purpose in life? And what is, you see, all of those questions. So here in this book of the quest, making it talks about making new wineskins. And I have a question for you. Have you had an experience where you try to combine all experiences with new experiences, all knowledge with new knowledges?
Definitely. And I think for me, a lot of this, I think of it as like new eyes, where I read in a book at one point, that talked about a spiritual journey, and that you can re-engage with topics that you've already thought about, you've already learned about. They might have a certain meaning for you. But now, as you grow, maybe even as you step aside from those for a time, you gain new eyes, new way to see those. And so you can re-engage with older topics, but through a new way of thinking. An example for me, I would say, is any Christian teachings. If I am using my old way of thinking, I don't see a fit there, right? I see a lot of inner conflict coming up. I think, I don't like these examples. I don't like these teachings because of what they used to mean for me or the way that I used to interpret them. So if I go back and I'm engaging with any topic, but through that old lens, again, combining new thinking with old, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. It doesn't feel harmonious. And so realizing that some of these ideas, it's not a bad idea. It's the way that I engaged with it.
It's like when I go to my country and I visit my mother and visit my grandmother, and it's hard for me to have conversations with them about God, because they refer to God as someone who is over the clouds, checking on us all the time. So, and that's something that it's been a big question mark over my head since I remember, because it didn't have any explanation to me. How is it that this guy knows every single thing that I do? That's not possible, because we are too many people in the world. So that's not a way. So now I'm going to invite you, my friend, to read this Matthew 9, in chapter 9, 16 to 17, because I think we're going to get a very good base in order to continue with this.
Yeah.
With this class.
And no one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch tears away from the garment, and a worse tear is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskins. If it is, the skins burst, and the wine is spilled, and the skins are destroyed. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, and so both are preserved.
You see, today's theme, it takes us to I don't think it's a possibility, but it's a requirement to create a new type of consciousness. It's don't try to put, how can I say, don't bring, that's the thing. Don't bring all the stuff from your old state of consciousness to the new that you are creating, because in every single moment this whole universe is in a constant renovation. So nothing is the same, nothing at all. But our human minds have the tendency to keep things as they know. So the mind learn how to do this, and then I expect you as my son to do the same, and I expect you teach my grandsons, my granddaughters to do the same as I'm doing, because I'm doing what my parents were doing. See, it's like a chain.
Yeah.
And at the moment of truth, I used to think, how is it that these people is teaching me things if I don't see them being successful with those things? That was I don't know if you have something to say about it.
Oh, I completely agree. I think as I thought about this chapter, the term wine and wineskins, I had to really think about it because we don't use wineskins, right? We buy bottles of wine today. So I thought, is there a better analogy? And I couldn't necessarily think of one, but one thing I've heard is that, you're talking about what we inherit from our teachings, what we're taught from a young age, that this is what we do, this is how things are. And as we grow, something that was helpful for me as I was initially questioning kind of that foundation, and thinking, I don't know how this works, but somebody said, you can't fit into a box that you've grown out of. And so as you expand your knowledge and understanding of things, there's still a set of rules, of expectations, of behaviors, of this is how we do, this is how we worship. This is the truth. And as you learn truth outside of that truth, if you try then to fit yourself back in that box, whatever it may be, it's behavior, expectation, belief, doctrine, you're going to feel very uncomfortable. And I think that's similar, like the old wineskin, it's going to break. You, as the new person, as the new changed person, you're going to feel pain again. You're going to feel frustration. So that's like spoiling the new wine, because you can no longer fit into that box because you've grown.
And you know what? The thing is, when we try, because it's trying, it's not doing it, it's not achieving something. When we try to do new things with old elements, there won't be a result that it will help us, because that formula doesn't work like that. And old formulas are not being effective right now. Maybe having those formulas long time ago was good because it served the purpose. But right now, at least in these new generations, you are a new generation of believer. When I talk to my kids, they don't believe in those things, as they call it. I don't believe in the God that you believe. I don't see things in the way that you see. I don't think you see. It's like nothing. For the new generations, we are crazy. What are you talking about? I remember that I told Daniel now, and my son Daniel, he is now 21, almost 21, and I remember that he was 5 when he saw a lot of people out of the church. And he says, Daddy, why that people is in that place? And I say, Mijo, that place is called church. And he asked me, what is a church? I said, church is a place where they go to worship God. What? That's stupid. God is everywhere. Why they need a place? Why they need a house? So I start smiling and laughing of like in a sense of that I accomplished something, because I would love to say that and not being questioned as I was when I was his age, because I had the same questions. The only difference is that the people that was around me, they said, hey, shut up and obey and do as it says. You see?
Right.
So the difference is that I didn't do that. I said, I'm glad you say that. Now you have to sustain that truth. the rest of your life.
Mm.
That God is everywhere, but never forget about what you say right now. You see?
Yeah.
So let's talk about something that is critical when we transform our consciousness in terms of replacing information, let's say. Because I always do this, how can I say, this analogy about how we work. Look, in terms of consciousness, let's talk about in terms of sources to the computer. Super consciousness is like the internet. Subconscious is the Wi-Fi, the connection between the internet, that is the superconscious, then comes the subconscious, and then comes the conscious mind, and then comes the unconscious mind. So here is my analogy. So it's like a superconscious is the supermarket. Let's go with that. It's the supermarket where you can find everything that you need, and also you can find things that you don't need. You can find there in the supermarket. So there is a distance between your house and the supermarket. That's what we call subconscious. And then that subconscious is a road that goes in darkness. That road is full of dragons, thieves, bad stuff. So you need to go through that to the supermarket, going through that road. So your house is the conscious. Your let's say your kitchen is the conscious, where you put the stuff that you bring, and the unconscious is the pantry, where you storage what you brought, because you're gonna use one kind of potatoes, let's say, but you bought 5 because that's what you're gonna need in your budget for the next month, let's say. You see, so in order to connect with all of these stages, I'm in my house, I'm hungry, I'm in the kitchen, so I'm gonna take my can of potatoes, and that is in my conscious state. From where I took it, I'm took it from the pantry, that is my unconscious mind. You see, the unconscious and the conscious are connected tightly. Then if I go empty of potatoes of whatever, I need to go to the supermarket. So then I have to connect with my subconscious. How do you think that you connect to superconscious in meditation? It's through your subconscious. You see? So in that subconscious mind is all the obstacles that we have. So if you don't, let's say, for me, it's very, very easy to get into supermarket because I have the car and that's it. But what if I live in the mountains? What if I live in those spaces where I have to walk in the snow, or you know, all of those obstacles that I can have to get there? So how easy is gonna be to get into the super consciousness? All depends in the type of work and type of tools that I have to get there. It's making any sense what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah. I think so. It's yeah, when we've emptied out what we have, we need to reconnect with something greater.
Yeah.
And as you said, going on that path, it's not always a quick path. It's not always an easy path.
Yeah.
There's fear that can be there. And I think as well, I would add there's like another market or something, and that is what everybody tells you, right? Like, oh, you just here, take this. This is what you need, right? And maybe that's like right there in your house, or it's these ideas that people tell you are going to solve your problems. And so if you just rely on those, there's also, I think sometimes the story comes from that you should be afraid of going to the supermarket. It's a scary path. There's lots of people, they've gone on that path and they've never come back.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you said like maybe there's dragons or other things, or it's dark. And I think the analogy of darkness, I've come to really appreciate darkness more. I enjoy being outside in the dark at night. And you learn that, I mean, darkness, obviously there's a reason we can be scared of it because there's things we can't see, but also sometimes that darkness is created by a story that somebody else tells.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, don't go through that. And as you walk it, you'll find that you may actually confront fears, but you can be aware that some of these fears are created by other people, right? You're not supposed to walk that path. That's the bad path. So if you find yourself on that path, God's mad at you. God's angry. And so you may feel these judgments coming up if you are walking that path of like, oh no, it's right. There is a dragon. But maybe it was a created thing put there to say, no, go back to your house. I'll keep feeding you. I'll keep feeding you what you need, when that's not what you want anymore.
And that's what some churches are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
The church says, don't worry, I will bring the food to your table. You just have to be with me to pay whatever I say, you see, and creates the business of faith. But that's another thing. Okay, so in order to see things as in the new ways, based in unity ways, based on new thoughts, we need to experience a transformation, a moment of where we'll see that the old patterns are not working anymore, and to get into the new patterns. And we're talking about, Master Jesus says something about the truth that sets you free. But let me tell you my experience. Before the truth sets me free, first, it's painful. When I realize that I've been doing something in the wrong way, oh my gosh, it's painful to know that. It's like I feel betrayed. I feel like someone stole something from me. After that, I get mad.
I was going to say anger comes next. Yeah.
Yeah. Anger comes next because then sets me free. So in the moment that anger comes, I recommend always use a dosage of love in terms of forgiveness. So that will help me to transform and sustain myself in the new stage of love. And then that process, that's something that we call in unity chemicalization. Because the chemicals that were sustaining that truth in your body, in your mind, in your system, now are getting rid of, and you need to get new information, and for the one who controls your mind. Who is the one that controls your mind?
I mean, ultimately, it'd be you.
In my ego version.
Right.
You see? So for my ego version, that is the one in control of everything in my mind, says, who changed this information? So the ego complains. It's not painful for divinity. Divinity is happy at the moment that we do any transformation in our consciousness. But for our ego, the one that wants to keep things in the way they are, and the way it always been like this. So ego complains. So you know that you don't have to fight ego. You don't have to transcend ego. The only thing that you have to do is love ego. Because ego is the part that is not enlightened in light yet. You see? So any final message for your new friends?
Yeah. I think I like what you said about kind of stages of emotions, right? When you first start to change, you might feel betrayed, whether it's by yourself or by others. There's a sense of anger. And I like recognizing anger and even seeing the use of anger, one, that it's natural, and then also it energizes you usually. And you may get stuck in like, I'm angry, now I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fix this. But it's not about fixing, like you said. It's about love. It's about surrender and recognizing maybe I can't fix it completely. And if you get stuck in anger, you're just going to be bitter and you're not ever going to get to the love. And I think as well, like, you said your own ego fights it and it resists it. I think there's a lot of fear with that. For me, there have been times where I recognize, like, I'm not very happy right now. There's some happy moments, but like if I look after a month, I feel like the majority of my time is just not very happy. And then if I start to change, but at least I know that the things the way they are, I'm still alive. I'm not happy, but I'm alive. And when we start to change, there is that lack of surety, like I've never walked this path before, I don't know what's here. Then there's sort of a fear of something new. Even though I don't like where I was, there's this fear that comes in. And that's the fear that we can recognize and then let go of and be willing to keep walking the path.
Yeah, that's the basic of all of this quest, because being in a quest doesn't mean being in the same place all the time. Recognizing that we are divine beings, recognizing that the power is in us, and that we can create whatever we want to create based on the law of the universe that creates the benefit for all of us. So, my friend, I thank you very much for accepting this invitation.
Thank you for having me, Jordan.
This is a face that you will see frequently here in Encuentro Espiritual English. And I thank you very much for being with us in this English version. And see you next week. Blessings.
Blessings.
Unity COML, Unity Comunidad de Luz, Community of Light. It's a ministry of love, big commitment to help everyone who's ready explore principles of truth that can really bring healing, prosperity, and all the good that God always has in store for each one of us. If you feel truly in your heart that we are serving you, and that you feel that you are expanding in every way and would love to give back and make sure that others are benefited just as well, we highly encourage you to donate. Do a love offering based on the love, appreciation, gratitude, and joy that you are receiving from the source to transform your life. Visit us at unitycoml.org and do what is yours to do from that place that knows that there is abundance for all.
As always say, asking is giving, and that's how we support our ministry, your needs, our help, and everything goes together.
Divine love through you, through us, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.